Hi guys, how's it going? Thank you very much for all the investment with new viewers and likes on the TikTok channel. That's really awesome. I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you for tuning in and watching my hobby endeavours with painting, but also with tabletop gaming. And I wanted to talk quickly, or for a few minutes, about solo play. So, solo gaming when you haven't got a player two to play against, but you play the game anyway. So in the last couple of weekends, I've played old Warhammer Fantasy Battle, Mordheim, and Black Powder with a Battle of Waterloo set up. And I have to say, maybe it's because I'm a GM and I've GM'd RPGs before, but it really didn't make as much difference as I thought it would. I thought I'd be there quite sort of lonely and wondering, oh, is this fun? But actually, it was absolutely exhilarating. I hadn't played some of those games. In fact, all of those three games for over 10 years. And I was relearning the rules for a lot of them. But what's wonderful about the human brain is once you've learnt a set of rules and committed them to memory at a younger age, it stays in the head like a library. So I was very lucky that all those rule systems, which are very similar, are still all there. And with the help of the reference books, I was able to unlock the game and enjoy it as if 12, 15 years hadn't even passed. I've just been granted the live option on TikTok, which I've tried to do, but I tried to prove my identity by taking a selfie, and it said something went wrong. So basically, I'm in my 40s, and as my mum says, she says, you don't think you'll still be talking about orcs, goblins, and Tolkien when you're 50, do you? And I think, well, considering that's only a few years off, probably more than likely. And I think that's the great thing about this hobby is when you first get into it, it's a bit of a laugh, and then it becomes a lifestyle and a bit of an obsession, and then you put it away, stop playing for a bit because life happens and real life kicks in and responsibilities and all the rest of it. And then you do, and then this is my experience anyway, and then you do a spring clean of your house and you find all these old Warhammer models from years ago just in Quality Street tins collecting dust. And actually they don't collect dust in Quality Street tins, the old metal ones. And you think, I wonder, yeah, I've grown out of this game. I don't play Warhammer anymore. Only really interested in Napoleonics. And then I just thought, how ridiculous to even say that when it's all the same stuff, but with different themes, variations, and settings. The enjoyment of preparing an army, painting it, taking it to the table, rolling dice with a tape measure, that never gets old. And playing it to this weekend and last reminded me how much I love this hobby and how much it's given to me over the years, both confidence wise, entertainment wise, exercising those little grey cell creative brain cells, all that good stuff. And I've got a cup of tea somewhere. Here we go. And yeah, this is my roll mat. Believe it or not, it's the first time I've ever invested in a roll mat. It's 3x3, and I'm going to get another one so I can have a 6x3. I haven't quite got the space for a 6x4 table. But yeah, I saw a few new games on the market that now advertise solo play or one player. One was on ancient myths, and another one was the woods. What's the one on ancient myths? I have to double check, but it's brand new, and I've got a few Greek models, so I might try that. But yeah, I thought it'd be a one-off. That it did make me think, oh, perhaps I am ready to rejoin a gaming group or start playing people again. one of the reasons I stopped was it was always very far to travel and a lot to carry, and quite often the models would break in transport. And quite often I was playing against people who were such experts at the game that I very rarely ever won. I think the best I ever did was draw, and that might have been because they were being kind. But my skill of the game has grown over the years, and I can probably, well, now as much as then, winning has never been the huge motivation for me as it is for some players, and I think that's where I fell down with gaming groups. Sometimes it would irritate the other player if I was chilling out or like doing jokes and just casually playing when they were, quite serious about the hobby and pointed their army to win. Um, and also, I found a few times when I did win, that didn't always go down too well because they didn't expect it. So, yeah, there was a few personality issues, shall we say, to navigate, both for myself and the other players. But I think that's true of any hobby group. That could be the same if you joined a group for tennis or golf especially, actually, thinking about it. But I'm rambling here. I've always seen that those rules are available. Like if you go back to Advanced Hero Quest and Space Hulk, they come with rules for solo play. And I've always thought, oh, that must be a bit sad. But it was quite the opposite. It was like GMing a game. And I think it suited my playstyle because I'm more interested in the randomness of a game and the narrative. I'm not invested heavily in having my side win. So however it turns out, because all you basically do is control both armies or both warbands, and give them the best opportunities that are available. I didn't find I was biased trying to make one win over the other. The only one I did possibly with that was Mordheim. Like I wanted my band of heroes to get through the scenario, but then thinking about it, the Skaven, who were the other warband that they encountered, they had a roster sheet as well, so they are a warband in their own right as well. And I'll continue playing the next 8 scenarios in the campaign, probably just with those 2 warbands meeting each time and playing a different encounter. Just keep it really simple. Have random encounters and monster encounters on the board. That worked well with Fantasy Battle as well, having a giant running around. I was using the rules for random movement, so the artillery dice, or the dice with the arrow on, and the 2d6 to determine which way it went that turn. Did that for a pack of dogs, a giant, and a dragon. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, I'll finish up with some photos of some of the models. But thank you very much for following on here. I am on YouTube as well. It hasn't got as big a following for some reason. I think TikTok is probably better suited to my sort of videos, point and shoot, and there we go. What else? I'm on Twitch as well, but don't have many followers on there. That's more for video gaming. And Blue Sky, of course, which was a safe space for gamers like year before last, I think. But yeah, I've got so much to say on the hobby, probably too much, but I would just encourage you, if you haven't got into it before, or if you're a veteran coming back to the hobby, sit down with a simple unit, paint it, and then put it in a game. Don't do what I did the last 10-15 years, which was paint, put it away in a box, and then paint the next thing. Although that is the fun for me, I think I've lost. It's a real shame to lose the opportunity to play games as well as paint. So I would urge you to do both if you find the time. Anyway, just finally, I worked out that last weekend and this weekend, okay, last weekend was Black Powder. That was a quick game of about 3 hours. That's a really fast moving game if you like Napoleonics and Black Powder weapon scenarios. So that was 3 hours, and that was fantastic because that was the big old Airfix project, which had taken from Christmas till now to paint, both sides, British and French, Prussians as well. And then this weekend was the big one with Warhammer Fantasy Battle. I reread the 2nd edition rules and then picked up the what I think is 5th edition, correct me if I'm wrong, and played a sort of amalgamation of the two. I've just spilt my tea. Right, let me put that down. Oh no, we've spilt tea on Western Crafts Pike and Musket Rules for Wargaming. Luckily it's a hardback, so no damage done. And there's some tissues here as well. Yeah, Warhammer Fantasy Battle. I thought I'd be done in about 3 to 4 hours. I was there from midday till 11 o'clock at night. So gaming from about 1 till 10. And then winding down or packing away either side of that. Yeah, so what, 10 hours there. 3 hours, so that's 13 hours. And then in the next morning I played another 3 hours. I did a turn 9. So what's that, 18 hours? No, hang on. 16 hours. And then today was 12 till 3. 19 hours of tabletop gaming this weekend and last. And I don't think I've done that since my 20s. And in my 30s, I probably averaged that amount of tabletop gaming in it over a year. There was a hell of a lot of posting on forums and trying to work out when people are available. And then, oh, sorry, I've got family this weekend. And then sometimes I couldn't make it. Sometimes they couldn't make it. By the time you actually got to the gaming place, an hour away, you were exhausted. And we were playing in like 37-degree heat as well. Obviously, we had air conditioning living abroad. But yeah, it was a hell of a mission. But yeah, 19 hours of gaming this weekend and last is not to be sniffed at. And I just loved how I could go at my own pace with it. I wasn't rushing to finish before the centre closed. Cups of tea were to hand, so was lunch and dinner. And I've talked for too long now, so I'm going to end it. But yeah, I've got my Iron Maiden t-shirt on as I listened to that while I was playing. And I even found my ticket from Saturday the 6th of August 2011. That sounds like years ago, and it was. But doesn't it go in a blink of an eye? That was at the O2 in London on the Final Frontier tour. And that's where I got this t-shirt. This is something I always used to wear when gaming, and luckily it still fits. So yeah, all positive things from me regarding the hobby. I'm completely drained. I'm going to have a week off, probably from painting and gaming, but then I'm going to be back after then with a few more videos. But yeah, thanks for watching.